Good evening, ASU GSV Summit. Yes. That might be the first time y'all really represented the first time. Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be with you guys tonight. I know it's just Tuesday and it feels like Friday. As I always say, this event is so incredibly dense with high quality content and great conversations. It is truly a marathon and not a sprint. Still, with all the great conversations I'm having this week, this is always one of my favorite parts of the entire week. The opportunity to present and co-present the Innovator of Color Award this year. It's been an incredible journey over these 10 years in partnership with ASU GSV and recognizing both the size and the makeup of the audiences when things were in Scottsdale back in the day and what they are here now. Representation matters and diversity matters, especially when we're talking about education, right? And so it's not just that it's the right thing to do, but it is actually about being more effective and being more impactful. And so it's with deep commitment at the Gates Foundation as part of our sponsorship of this event. We sponsored 40 incredibly talented entrepreneurs of color, many of whom are in the audience. And that's part of an overall effort in partnership with Deborah and Michael to help continue to diversify the event. So I want to thank them in seeing how far we've collectively come in bringing more inclusivity into the room. More work to be done, but we've made incredible progress. So thank you, Michael and Deborah, for the opportunity for that. And so with that pipeline of incredibly talented folks that we're all continuing to support, we hope they all end up being as impactful as the gentleman we're going to honor this evening. So with that, I'm going to have my colleague Meredith introduce the award.
Great. Thank you, Henry. It's a little loud. I'm glad there's a mic because I've had no voice now for 2 days. So I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you all for being here to recognize the 2019 Innovator of Color. This award is about those individuals who bend the arc of human potential. It's about inclusivity, and we all know that we need a lot of ideas in the room born from diverse perspectives and experiences. It's about seeing opportunity in the surrounding chaos, and there's a lot of chaos in the world right now in education and beyond. It's about looking at an ordinary object and making it extraordinary through your heart, your mind, your passion, and doing what's impactful, which is always hard and not always sexy. This award is about individuals who don't take no for an answer, who don't sit by the sidelines, who are engaged and get involved in answering the biggest questions that confront us and our children. Individuals who say, there has to be a better way, and then they act. Our award winner tonight is exactly this type of individual. Michael Sorrell, president of Paul Quinn College. Wait. Oh, come on. I still have more to say.
Oh, thank you.
So Michael told me he does what he does to make education and life possible for those who are left out. He leads through authentic love and not from a place of fear. He talks about the we over me. He doesn't just aspire to change education, but aspires to a larger humanity-level goal of ending poverty. He reminds us that innovation is about people and the impact on communities. Michael often jokes that he was offered the role as president via phone call while he was driving down the highway. Michael, I can assure you that as an executive recruiter who specializes in authentic leadership and innovative talent, that's exactly how it happens, all the time.
Thank you.
I've known Michael for several years, and he inspires me personally. He is truly remarkable. He has turned around Paul Quinn and brought it from the brink of closing. He's created a new model of reality-based education that is experiential, project-based, and entrepreneurial in thought and action. And this is only the start. What pushed Michael to innovate and make these hard changes? His belief for students that their next must be and can be better than their now. He fills their tomorrow with hope. Let Michael inspire us and remind us it's important to take risks. You have to get in the game to make change. You must lead with your authentic self and with love. Because we as innovators have a purpose and an obligation to inspire and co-create the future. I'm honored to present this award to Michael Sorrell.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So good evening, ASU GSV.
Good evening.
Okay, we're going to do this again. I am the president of a historically black college. Thank you. But historically black colleges come from the black church tradition. The black church tradition is a call and response tradition. You gave me a Catholic church greeting. All right? Now, I can say that because I spent from 5th grade to 12th grade in Catholic schools. I respect the Catholic Church, but that's not where we're going tonight. So let's try this again. Good evening, ASU GSV. There we go. Now, the other tradition about black churches is after a rousing applause like that, I'm passing the offering plate, all right? Because as the president of a college, I am always fundraising. That is just what we do. I am incredibly humbled to be here. I am humbled because I have so much respect and admiration for what all of you do. I started coming here because some folks took a chance on me. Ryan Craig and Daniel Pianco, who run University Ventures, invited me years ago and gave me an opportunity to start making my pitch about what we were building. Michael and Deborah have always included me and made me feel as an integral part of this event, even when my ideas weren't quite as refined. And that gave me confidence and gave me the platform to begin to explain what we're doing. Now, I am the beneficiary of some amazing friends, like my friend Bridget Burns, who is a force of nature in her own right, but is one of the best people you can have to vet your ideas. And here's the thing. I didn't come to this space because I dreamed of this space. I am in this space because I was inspired by Thurgood Marshall and Charles Hamilton Houston, no, thank you. And for those of you who may not be familiar with them, they took the institution of the law and bent it to create an opportunity and a vehicle for social change. They used the law to create a system of cases which wound up in Brown versus the Board of Education and changed the composition of our schools and our experiences to this day. I was inspired by them to look at education differently. Because the reality of it is, education doesn't work for everyone. It worked for me because I came from a background where education typically works for people like me. But it didn't work that well for my father. My father never went to college. He grew up in a single-family home in New Orleans. But because of entrepreneurship, because of what I will call grassroots innovation, my father's side of the family went from a family where a father never stepped foot on a college campus to a son who's a college president. So don't tell me what's not possible. My mother's side of the family was the educated ones, and they told me that you can be anything you want to be as long as you work hard, but never forget that you have an obligation to lead and to leave places better than you found them.
Yes.
No, thank you. So at Paul Quinn College, I inherited an institution that was failing. We are a school that for most of you would look at as the leftovers of society. Many people have said that the students like ours don't deserve to be in college. And I know they believe that because some of them have said it to me. But here's the thing. Every rose doesn't bloom on the first day of spring, but it doesn't mean that it won't bloom. It just means that it needs a little more care and a little more attention. And that's what we do at Paul Quinn College. But the other thing we do is we live every single day in the face of poverty. I didn't grow up in poverty. My parents did very well. But my students grew up in poverty. They live in poverty. They are forced to live lives of scarcity. And so we look at innovation as a tool of justice, right? Not as a tool to create wealth all the time, but as a tool for justice. If all we do is innovate trying to get to an exit strategy, we miss the opportunity to innovate to create a life for others. My students need innovations that have no exit strategies. They need innovations that have people who engage in their lives, who are there with them step by step. Because if you live a life of scarcity, you live a life of being told no. You live a life of being defined by what you don't have. You live a life of deficits, and no one deserves to live a life of deficits. So we are committed at Paul Quinn College. Our vision, what we exist to do from this point forward, is to eradicate intergenerational poverty. We are going to end poverty. This cannot be a country where 40 million people live in poverty. And we cannot be people who are okay with that. So we will exist every year to remind us that no matter how well you are doing, the collective we can do better. So I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for this award. But most of all, I thank you for the opportunity to be recognized for doing the work that I am so passionate about, that my parents were passionate about me doing, and that I am thankful to have the attention of people like you to engage in the issues that matter of the day. Thank you.